address was leaked to a police officer. They are coming to arrest you because. My dear child, if you believe in angels, start this video and watch it completely. Angel says, "My child, this is an emergency, and I am commanding you through the voice of Archangel Michael not to take this lightly. You have delayed long enough in listening. You have been distracted long enough by the noise of the world, and yet this moment has been chosen to bring you face to face with the truth. Your address was leaked, and it was not by accident. Heaven saw it, Michael saw it, and I, the Lord your God, have permitted this message to reach you because the police are in the way of the truth. You have never seen you because the plan formed against you was darker than you can imagine. A police officer has been given your name and your place, and the whispers of your neighbors have already traveled further than you knew. What they have spoken in secret has become a storm in the spirit, and that storm is trying to manifest against you in the physical. My child, listen carefully, because although they rise up to accuse, although they rise up to condemn, my spirit rises higher to protect, to expose, and to deliver you in this very hour. Archangel Michael says, you cannot afford to delay. Every second counts, because their steps are already set in motion. He has been sent, sword drawn, shield raised, to stand between you and the danger that creeps closer. But he is weeping because he has warned you before in dreams, in whispers, in feelings you ignored. He saw what the neighbors planned. He saw how jealousy hardened their hearts. He saw the lies they planted like seeds in the ears of authority. And now he is shouting from the heavens, open your eyes, open your ears, open your heart, and do not take this message as just words. It is life and death. It is exposure and salvation. My child, they were watching you longer than you realized. Their eyes followed you when you left your house, their ears strained to catch every sound when you spoke on the phone, and their bitterness turned into a poisonous river that overflowed into the wrong hands. What they could not achieve with their own strength, they sought help to achieve through lies. What they could not crush with gossip, they attempted to destroy by summoning the law against you. But do you not know? I am the judge above all judges. I am the law-giver above all law-givers. I am the king who holds the hearts of police, officers, rulers, and neighbors in my hand. Even when they think they are working together to trap you, I am the God who can turn their footsteps backward, their papers into dust, and their words into ashes. Archangel Michael says, he saw the report written. He saw the ink. He saw the words spoken in secret rooms. He saw your neighbor lean forward, whispering venom into the ears of a man who wears the badge of authority. He saw the smirk on their face when they believed they had trapped you. But Michael also saw heaven's fire preparing to burn through their lies. He is begging you not to panic, not to give in to fear, because fear is the very weapon they want to use to paralyze you. The enemy's weapon is intimidation, but God's weapon is truth, and truth cannot be chained. You must understand, my child, the reason this attack came is because you carry something greater than they do. The reason they envied you is because my hand rests on you in ways they cannot explain. The reason they opened their mouths to accuse is because your presence reminded them of what they lack: peace, joy, favor, light. They wanted to erase you, not because of who you are in their eyes, but because of who you are in my eyes. But I say to you now, their plan will not stand. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment shall be condemned. This is your heritage, my child, for you are my servant, and I vindicate you. Archangel Michael says, your neighbors signed their names with malice, but heaven has written your name in fire. They tried to expose you to disgrace, but heaven is exposing them instead. They whispered lies, but heaven is thundering the truth. They summoned the police to intimidate, but heaven is summoning angels to surround. Even now, as you read these words, the heavenly host is encamping around your dwelling place. Even now, as you breathe, angels of light are standing at the corners of your home, at the entrance of your life, at the edges of your destiny, and they will not allow the enemy to enter unchallenged. God says, you must not lose faith. This is a test of your trust. This is a shaking to reveal who you lean on. Will you tremble at the sound of man's threats, or will you stand in the assurance of my promises? Will you believe the lies whispered by your neighbors, or will you cling to the truth I have spoken since the beginning of your life? Michael is pleading, because the battle is fierce, but you are not alone. The reason the enemy is so determined is because your breakthrough is near. The reason they rush to accuse is because your blessing is on the horizon. The reason they stirred up authorities is because heaven is stirring up abundance for you, and they are desperate to block it. My child, I tell you the truth, every tear you cried in secret is recorded. Every humiliation you endured because of their gossip is written in my book. Every false word they spoke will return upon their own heads. They thought they could hide behind shadows, but I am the God who sees all, and I am shining my light into their darkness right now. They will stumble in their own trap. They will be ensnared in their own web. The same lips that lie against you will be forced to confess the truth. The same mouths that gossip will choke on their own venom. The same hands that pointed at you will tremble when my judgment arrives. Archangel Michael says he stood at your window last night. He saw the spirit of accusation trying to creep in, but he struck it with his sword. He stood at your door when fear tried to knock, and he refused to let it enter. He hovered over your bed as you slept, guarding your dreams, whispering your name, pleading with your spirit to awaken to this urgency. He saw you doubt. He saw you struggle. He saw you wonder if heaven still hears you. But he also saw heaven writing your deliverance, and he knows this is not the end. It is the exposure of the enemy and the beginning of your rise. God says, do not let fear dictate your next step. I am with you. I go before you. I stand behind you. I surround you. Though officers may come with accusations, they cannot touch what I have sanctified. Though neighbors may shout lies, they cannot silence the truth I thunder. Though enemies may gather in secret, they cannot overpower the angels who war in open flame. You are not forgotten, my child. You are not abandoned. This message is your proof. This message is your lifeline. This message is the sign that heaven has intercepted the plan of darkness and turned it into light. And now, I say unto you, lift your head. Do not cower. Do not shrink back. Stand, for your vindication is near. Stand, for Archangel Michael fights on your behalf. Stand, for the truth will burst forth, and no man, no officer, no neighbor, no accuser can stop it. You are mine, and I will not let them destroy what I have ordained. God says, it is an emergency. Do not ignore this. Archangel Michael is standing beside you right now with his sword of light, whispering in the deepest corners of your heart that this is very serious and that you must not look away. He says, I order you to open this message right now, because something that was hidden has been revealed, something that was buried in silence has now come to the surface. Your address was leaked to a police officer, and they are coming toward you because of the words that came from the mouths of your neighbors. But God says, do not tremble, because what they intended for your destruction will be turned around into your divine protection and elevation. The heavens tremble with urgency, and angels are watching over you this very moment, making sure that your soul is not shaken beyond what you can endure. God says, my child, I am exposing this because the time of ignorance is over. The whispers behind your back, the conversations you were not supposed to hear, the reports made in secret against you, all of them are being dragged into the light. Your neighbors, moved by jealousy, envy, and the desire to see you fall, have spoken things into the ears of men clothed in authority. They imagined that by their words you would be trapped, cornered, and silenced. But the voice of God is louder than the voice of men. The sword of Michael is brighter than the badge of any officer. The protection of heaven is stronger than the schemes of neighbors. Archangel Michael is crying with a thunderous voice because he sees how serious this has become. He says, my beloved, you must not take this lightly. You must not say to yourself, it is only a rumor. You must not shrug and turn away. It is urgent because the footsteps of those who were sent toward you are already echoing in the spirit. But God says, I will not let them destroy you, for you are chosen, and your destiny cannot be written by the envy of neighbors nor sealed by the ink of false reports. Do you feel the stirring in your chest right now? That is not fear. It is the Spirit awakening you, shaking you so that you do not miss this moment. God says the plan that was formed against you is like a net spread out to catch a bird, but before you step into it, He is pulling you back. The Spirit says, look, I have exposed this before it reached your door so that you can lift your eyes to heaven and call on me. Your neighbors thought they could hide. They spoke behind closed doors, their whispers slithered like serpents, and their smiles when they saw you were masks that covered their schemes. But God has torn the masks away. Michael says, I saw them, I heard them, I stood invisible in the room when they wrote down your name. I was there when they spoke to the officer. They did not know an angel was listening. They did not know that heaven keeps record of every word spoken in secret. And now, I stand before you to warn you, they are trying to put you in chains. But God says, chains cannot hold my anointed. Fire cannot burn my chosen. Lies cannot bury my truth. They think they are coming to arrest you, but in reality, they are coming to witness a miracle. For when their feet cross the threshold of your door, the presence of God will confront them. Their plans will shatter in their hands. The words of your neighbors will choke in their throats. And you, the one they thought would be humiliated, will stand clothed in light. This is why you cannot ignore this message. It is not just a warning, it is a revelation, an unveiling of the war around you. It is not simply about the police, nor the neighbors, nor the words spoken. It is about destiny. It is about whether you will step into fear or step into faith. Michael says, do not run. Do not panic. Do not waste this time. Fall on your knees and call upon the one who sent me, for he alone can turn this tide. God says, my child, you must understand the seriousness. They wanted you silenced because of your voice. They wanted you destroyed because of your light. They wanted you erased because of the calling upon your life. But I, the Lord, have said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Even if 10,000 rise against you, they will fall because I am your shield. Even now, as you read these words, angels are being dispatched like flames of fire. Michael's sword is unsheathed. The watchers of heaven surround your house, not to terrify you, but to keep away the darkness that creeps near. The very air around you is shifting because prayers have already been poured out over your name. There are intercessors in places you don't even know, praying for you, calling your name before God. And their prayers have been heard, which is why this message has been delivered. The truth is, the police are being moved not only by the words of neighbors, but by a deeper manipulation. There are powers that work behind envy, spirits that push people to hate what they cannot understand. The Spirit says, it is not only flesh and blood you fight against, but principalities and powers of darkness. That is why the battle looks bigger than you, but do not forget that the God who covers you is bigger than all of them combined. If you'd like to donate or show your appreciation, you can give a super thanks up to $100. Michael says, I am standing here because this is not just about today. It is about the future that lies ahead of you. If you yield to fear now, the enemy thinks he can break you before you reach your blessing. But if you rise in faith now, the enemy will tremble because you will step into the place of power meant for you. God says, this is not the end for you. This is the exposure of enemies. This is the uncovering of betrayal. This is the moment where truth is drawn out from the shadows. They thought their whispers would stay hidden, but I am the God who hears all. They thought their steps would remain unnoticed, but I am the God who sees all. They thought their reports would go unchecked, but I am the God who judges all. You must hear this. Nothing happens by accident. Even this, even their plotting, even their malice, will be turned for your good. The same officer they sent to harm you may be the one who later testifies to your innocence. The same neighbor who raised their voice against you may be the one who later bows their head in shame. And you, the one caught in the center of this storm, will rise stronger than ever because God's hand will not allow you to be crushed. Archangel Michael is weeping, not because he doubts your deliverance, but because he sees how close you were to ignoring this, how easily you could have dismissed it. He says, do not close your eyes to this. Do not harden your heart. I beg you, in the name of the Most High, take this message into your spirit. God says, my beloved, I have not given you the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. The power is to stand firm, the love is to forgive your neighbors, the sound mind is to see through the lies and not be shaken. For if you panic, the enemy thinks he has won. But if you stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, you will shame the enemy and glorify your God. This is only the beginning of what I must deliver to you. The message is long, for the seriousness of the hour demands it. The Spirit says, keep reading. Do not stop. Do not turn away. Every word is a lifeline, every sentence is a shield, every revelation is a step toward your safety and your destiny. God says, it's an emergency, don't ignore this. Archangel Michael says this is a very serious message for you, and he orders you to open this right now. Your address was leaked to a police officer, and they are coming to arrest you because your neighbors have spoken things that are not true, things that were whispered in the darkness with the intent to harm you, to strip away your peace, to put you in chains of confusion, and to bind your destiny. But God says, before you panic, before you allow fear to fill your soul, you must know that heaven already saw this coming. Nothing has been hidden from the throne of the Almighty. No plot, no whisper, no letter passed in secrecy, no false report written in shadow can escape the eyes of God. Michael has already stood guard over you, and his sword is drawn, glowing with fire, burning against those who sought to destroy you. This message is not coincidence. This is divine timing. God says, you needed to hear this in this very hour, because what is moving around you is not natural, it is spiritual. The police officer who has your address does not even fully know why he was sent. He has been misled, manipulated, guided by lies, by testimonies planted by your neighbors, who have conspired not because you did anything wrong, but because of envy, because of jealousy, because of bitterness in their hearts that you carried light while they carried darkness. They wanted you silenced, but they didn't realize you are chosen. They wanted you dragged down, but they didn't realize that when someone touches the anointed, they touch the apple of God's eye and the wrath of heaven is provoked. Michael says he has been watching. He has been shouting, crying out, trying to wake you, because he knows the seriousness of this. He has been moving through your nights, standing by your bed, whispering in your dreams, showing you signs, urging you to pay attention. He says, my child, this is not a joke. They want to entangle you, but heaven has decreed that their net will not catch you. Their words will not bind you. Their reports will not hold you. God says, do not be afraid of them, for I am exposing every single one of them. Even the ones you thought were harmless, even the ones who pretended to smile, even the ones who greeted you kindly. Behind their smiles were schemes, behind their kindness was deception, but now the truth is bursting forth. God says, the reason you are receiving this message right now is because time is urgent. The officer assigned is already on his way. Papers have already been passed. Conversations have already been held in secret places about you. But here is the miracle. God has gone ahead of them. God has spoken into the ear of that officer in ways he cannot understand. Confusion is being planted into their camp. While they try to accuse you, their own words will contradict themselves. While they try to prepare a report, it will fall apart in their own hands. God says, you will see them stumble, you will see them weaken, you will see them fight among themselves, because what was meant for evil will turn into evidence of their corruption. Michael says, you cannot stay silent. You must prepare in spirit. You must not allow their fear tactics to paralyze you. Do not sit and wait as if you are helpless, because you are not helpless. You are defended by heaven's armies. The Lord Himself has declared you safe. God says, the same neighbors who tried to expose you are about to be exposed. Their secrets are coming to light. Their hidden lives are being opened. Their deeds will be shouted from the rooftops. They thought they could destroy you quietly, but instead, I will destroy their lies publicly. You will watch with your own eyes as shame returns to their doorsteps. God says, this is why you have been feeling the unease, the restlessness, the sudden heaviness. It was a warning in your spirit. It was not paranoia. It was not your imagination. It was my spirit stirring within you, telling you that something was being set up in the unseen. And now, God confirms through this message, yes, your address was given, yes, words were spoken, yes, someone with authority is moving toward you, but do not fear, because heaven has already moved faster. The enemy thought he was clever, but he was too slow. God says, I already positioned your deliverance. I already ordered Michael to stand at your door. I already sent confusion into the enemy's steps. I already decreed your freedom. Michael says, my child, open your ears. Listen to me. This is not the first time they tried to plot against you, but this time it is more serious. This time they think they have power because a police officer is involved. But they don't know that authority on earth is still under the authority of heaven. They don't know that I hold the keys, I hold the sword, and I hold the command of the armies of light. They don't know that God's decree outweighs man's decree. They don't know that while they plan your fall, heaven is planning your rise. My child, listen closely, for this message is not arriving by accident. God says, it is an emergency, and Archangel Michael himself leans close to you now with a voice that shakes through the heavens, commanding you to open your heart to these words. Do not brush them aside as if they were just any words, for this carries the fire of divine urgency. The angels see what the world hides from you. They hear the whispers in the dark places that were spoken behind your back. They watch the secret movements of those who plot against you, and now, by the mercy of God, you are being warned before it is too late. God says, your address has been whispered, leaked into hands that do not carry kindness toward you. A police officer has been misled, manipulated by the lies of your neighbors, those who stand in shadows pretending to be harmless, but carrying envy in their hearts. These neighbors have woven stories of deceit, words sharpened like blades, and handed them over in order to see you bound in fear. They believe they can trap you, but what they have not seen is the shield of God already glowing around your spirit. They can summon men, they can send whispers into official ears, but they cannot stand against the decree of the Almighty, who declares that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Archangel Michael speaks, do not tremble, do not give your power to fear. Yes, their footsteps are preparing to march closer. Yes, their hands are reaching toward you with intentions of chains, but I, Michael, the one who stands at the right hand of God, have already drawn my sword. The fire of heaven is unsheathing now, and every lie they spoke will fall upon their own heads. The officers who come will not find what they were told. They will be struck with confusion, their eyes will not align with their ears, and their judgments will collapse like dust in the wind. Stand still, child of God, and witness what the Lord will do for you. God says, you have been crying out in silence, asking why certain people treat you with false smiles yet act differently when your back is turned. You have felt something wrong in the atmosphere, something heavy pressing against your chest at night. That was not your imagination. That was the whisper of heaven alerting you that darkness was weaving a plan. Your neighbors' hearts have been poisoned by jealousy. They see the blessing of God hovering over you. They see your endurance. They see that no matter how many times life tried to strike you down, you rise again, and they cannot bear the strength that radiates from your soul. Instead of asking how they too could be lifted by God, they chose to despise the light they see in you. This is why they lied. This is why they plotted. This is why they whispered your name into the wrong ears. But God says, do not be shaken. For when the enemy rushes in like a flood, my Spirit will lift up a standard against him. The police may come, but they are not greater than my command. The accusations may be carried, but they cannot outweigh my truth. Fear may knock at your door, but you must not let it in. The moment you bow your head and call my name, the tide will turn. Heaven has already issued its order. You will not be consumed by this storm. Archangel Michael is weeping with urgency as he delivers this, child, do not ignore this. Heaven has already seen what was written about you, the reports prepared, the intentions drawn. They wish to paint you guilty, but God Himself has written innocent across your spirit in His eternal link. Their evidence will scatter. Their unity will fracture. Their malice will return upon them. I will stand before your door like a pillar of fire, and none who come with evil intent will cross over. God says, there is a mystery here too. You must not only see the danger, but also the blessing hidden within it. Sometimes, when the enemy rises violently, it is a sign that your breakthrough is near. The enemy would not rage so hard if you were not terrified of what God is about to release into your life. They try to stain your name because heaven has already prepared to elevate it. They try to make officials look at you with suspicion because God is about to make officials look at you with favor. This is not the end. This is the shaking before the doors open. My child, hold on to this. You are not alone. Every step you take is being guarded. Every tear you cry is being counted. Every prayer you whisper is being answered even when silence seems to surround you. God says, I am not deaf to your cries. I am not blind to your battles. I am not slow to respond. I have allowed this to come so that you would see that my hand is still mighty. My angels are still present, and my love for you is still unshakable. Do not turn to panic. Do not let dread master your thoughts. Pray instead. Call on my name with faith, and I will scatter the plans of your enemies. The police may hear reports, but they will not find truth in them. Your neighbors may gather in secret, but their gatherings will dissolve into confusion. Those who wanted to see you bound will watch you rise freer than ever. Archangel Michael insists, listen to me, the beloved of God. Heaven is fighting for you in this very hour. While you read these words, the unseen realm is alive with activity. Angels moving swiftly, swords drawn, shields raised, strategies unfolding. Trust and do not doubt. Every second you hold on to faith is a second that strengthens our defense over you. Every word of prayer you utter is a stone cast against the giant that rises before you. Every moment you choose peace instead of fear is a declaration that you belong to the kingdom that cannot be shaken. God says, "Child, you must rest in me. Trust that what was meant for evil will turn to good. Do not worry about what humans plot, for my authority outweighs theirs. Their lies cannot rewrite your destiny. Their anger cannot undo your blessing. Their malice cannot silence the truth that I, the Lord, have spoken over your life." This is your urgent message. Yes, they are plotting. Yes, they are moving. But greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. The police may come to your address, but they will leave confused. Their reports empty. Their accusations crumbling. You will stand. You will see deliverance. And your neighbors will see that the God who defends you is not to be mocked. Stay calm. Stay faithful. Lift your voice in prayer, for as you do, heaven rushes even closer. Archangel Michael is already at your side, his sword ablaze, his eyes fixed on protecting you. God is with you, and that means nothing will go wrong with you. Trust him. Pray to him. He has heard you, he is moving, and you are safe. My beloved child, listen carefully to the voice that reaches you now, for it is not coincidence that your eyes have fallen upon these words at this exact moment. Heaven has stirred, and what you are hearing is not meant for the world at large, but only for you. God says, "It is an emergency, and I tell you not to ignore this." Archangel Michael has sounded the trumpet of urgency, for your life has entered a turning point, and even now forces of confusion, fear, and accusation are moving around you. But God also says, even when the ground shakes beneath your feet and human hands attempt to create fear by whispering lies against you, you must remember that no human judgment stands stronger than the covering of the Almighty. Your name is written in His book, and though men may plot, they cannot undo what heaven has decreed over you. Archangel Michael declares, your address has been whispered among people who desire to see you broken, and even now, they have stirred authorities against you. But I tell you, beloved, this is not a time to collapse in fear, it is a time to remember who your refuge truly is. Your neighbors may have spoken against you, they may have allowed falsehoods to slip from their tongues, but God is not blind. God says, I see what was done behind closed doors, I heard the secret conversations, I know the hearts that plotted, and I will not let you stand alone. When men seek to deliver you into the hands of accusation, I, the Lord, deliver you into the hands of mercy. It is very serious, my child, and I do not want you to delay. Archangel Michael is standing by you, his sword lifted, and he has already been given command to shield you from what is moving against you. What the enemy meant to use for destruction will backfire. The papers written against you, the words whispered to authorities, will not become your downfall. Instead, they will expose the ones who crafted them. God says, the truth will not stay buried forever. Already, Heaven has ordered exposure, and soon the same mouths that accused you will tremble when their own secrets are revealed. Do not let your heart be swallowed in fear. Fear is the tool of the enemy, but prayer is the weapon of the faithful. If you trust God in this moment, even though the shadows look heavy, the light will cut through. God says, "Your arrest was plotted in words, but your freedom is sealed in heaven." The enemy cannot arrest what God has released. The truth is that no police officer, no neighbor, no false witness has the authority to chain the soul God has declared free. My child, when your ears hear that others are speaking against you, when you see the signs of betrayal close to home, you must not despair. Remember that even Jesus was betrayed by one who sat at his table. Remember that Joseph was accused falsely and cast into prison though his heart was pure. Yet both their stories ended not in shame but in glory. What man meant for harm, God used for elevation. This is the same for you. You may feel the sting of betrayal, the heaviness of injustice, the fear of exposure, but God says, your story will not end in chains, it will end in triumph. Archangel Michael says, you must act now, not with panic, not with rashness, but with prayer and trust. You must lift your voice to heaven. Say, God, you are my defender. If men rise against